Free Press United decided to have this day. Sorry, Unlimited. To have this day, to have this event, and focus on Russia. Why? I think that's an important question.
Well, I think there are a number of reasons. First of all, we sponsor the annual Press Freedom Report that comes out on the 1st of May. And since years now, we're seeing that not only Russia, but all the neighbors of Russia are slipping down on the press freedom calendar or the index. And the situation is becoming very critically important, because we think that Russia is a laboratory for repression against press freedom worldwide. So that's one thing. The other thing is, of course, this is the annual celebration this year of 300-year friendship between ourselves and Russia. And we think that, especially in these days, it is important to express our solidarity, to reach out to fellow Europeans who are living in different conditions now. I think there was a lot of hope for Russia, but the stage of young democracy has unfortunately turned into a nightmare to a certain extent. And so we need to think about what can we do. You know, we're talking about a country that is 1.5 hours away.
We're focusing on Russia, but how's the rest of Europe doing if you speak about this index?
Well, the trend is actually very worrying. I think that you see more and more economic pressure on the press, especially in Europe, and especially in the southern European countries. This year, Greece has slipped into the partly free category. And it is largely to do with the fact that because of the economic crisis, a lot of media are losing their advertisement. There's less and less money. A lot of journalists are fired. Media become prone to be purchased by big media magnates. So you see a lot of what they call vertical concentration of media. So a few owners own most of the media. It's the same in Italy. It's beginning also in Spain this year. Very problematic issues. The public television journalists were fired because they reported critically about the government's tax policy. And in Greece, you actually have a journalist who's being threatened by law because he published the list of the IMF of tax evaders. And of course, the tax evaders in Greece are the top dogs, is the top politicians and the top companies. And you see that the public in Greece no longer trusts the media, and they begin to set up their own media. So I think these are worrying trends. So press freedom is not something in remote Africa or in strange...
People starting
Asian
up their own
countries.
media is a good thing, right?
It's very good, but it's a sign that the current media or the normal media are not trusted anymore by the public. So I think there's a big crisis of journalism worldwide.
You're united, you're unlimited. What can you do?
We're both united and
Because we're small, right? Here in Holland. What can we do from a country like Holland or Europe, West Europe?
I think that we can provide ambition, we can provide inspiration, we can help people, we have ideas, we can solidarize ourselves with Russians who are facing a lot of problems. Very interestingly, Russia has one of the most developed internet systems in the world, a lot of media, but currently they are under a lot of pressure. So we can develop with Russians together methods to avoid censorship, methods to avoid, finding new ways to create a voice for the people.
There are some journalists here from Russia. Are you supporting them? How do you do it? Actually, in a practical way, sending money, people, or what can you do?
We do everything that deems critical or vital. At the moment, we don't support people in Russia. We've been involved with the setup of Caucasian Knot, but it was in 2005, 2006. Gregory Shvedov is here. We helped them set up because they changed from a human rights network into a journalist network. I thought it was a very positive project. We are engaged in many of the satellite republics. We work in Moldova, in Armenia, in Tajikistan. We work in Georgia. So we are inspired to try and help. But we think that we need to re-engage with Russia. For the longest time we were thinking, Russia is not a third world. We work a lot in poor countries. where the logistics and the engineering is underdeveloped. But in Russia, it's not a third world country. It's intellectual. It has a vibrant young society. We thought they would manage off their own, but you see that under the current power paradigms, they are not making it. They're under pressure. And so I think we need to re-engage, think what we can do. And we actually made a call to our Minister of Foreign Affairs to provide more leadership from the European Union to re-engage with Europe. I mean, this is next door. This is not something far away and remote. And it's countries that we do a lot of trade with. So there's an economic interest. Holland is one of the biggest investors in Belarus. It's one of the worst countries in the world when it comes to press freedom. These are issues and questions that need to be re-raised.
What's more important?
What is more important? For me, press freedom and freedom of expression is the mother of all human rights. You cannot think of any society working in a critical, in a flexible, in a creative way without those rights being secured. If you kill press freedom, if you kill freedom of expression, you're beginning to kill all the other rights of people. So for me, it's not a question. You know, if you look at the range of Russian-speaking states, you have, for example, Turkmenistan. Now, this is very interesting. I'm sure that all of you saw the president fall off his horse in Turkmenistan this week. You know, but the interesting thing, Turkmenistan is number last on the World Press Freedom Ranking. The secret services and the police actually took away all the mobile phones and the cameras that people were having, trying not for this picture to come out. So hundreds of people were, can you imagine having the inauguration of the Queen and he would fall over and that everybody would be stolen from their mobile phones who were documenting this. These are the things that are happening in Russian-speaking countries. You know, so I think it's important, it's vital. What happens there can happen closer to us, and we need to assist and be vigilant.
In a way, we had this crowning. There was a little bit of control of the media, right? We're not that perfect, are we?
We are certainly
or incomparable.
We're certainly not perfect. There are many things to say about Dutch media. I myself found actually the whole coronation affair lacking a kind of a critical voice. It was very, how would you say, demonstratively, you know, pro-monarchy reportage. But that's a personal, I mean, it doesn't mean that there haven't been any critical voices in the media. But, you know, the things that happened on Dam Square are bordering on pathetic. You know, it shouldn't be a place for that in our society, I find. And, you know, it's just crazy.
Well, that's the drive of Leon Willems, and he's initiating this day tonight. We're going to have a nice discussion. You can comment on what he's saying later on. Let's go to Lisbeth. Thank you.